but all them niggas sound the same.
What up guys, it's your boy Ali, and welcome to Hip Hop Forever. Hip Hop is constantly evolving. Hip Hop is a movement, it's a culture, it's a language that began in the Bronx, New York, and it is now bigger than ever. According to Nielsen's year-end report, hip hop is dominating the charts as far as numbers go, and it surpassed rock music and became the most popular genre in the world in 2017. Hip hop as a genre created many icons. Tupac Shakur comes to mind, Rakim, LL Cool J, Eminem, Jayz, Biggie, Wayne, and the list goes on. For many years, hip hop has been the soundtrack to our daily lives. It has infiltrated dance, cinema, language, and art. Hip-hop is a genre like no other, and it is always going to keep evolving. But before hip-hop was as big as it is today, it was an idea in the mind of a genius. Legend has it DJ Kool Herc discovered hip-hop. For those of you that don't know, DJ Kool Herc is a DJ from the Bronx, New York. When he was coming up, DJ Kool Herc would DJ at parties in his neighborhood. He would often observe the crowd to determine which songs would get the crowd dancing and which ones would not. And over time, he started to notice that people prefer to dance over the instrumental portion of the beat, also known as the break. Kool Herc figured that if he could make the instrumental portion of the song longer, people would dance more. So he used 2 turntables and 2 copies of the same record to achieve this effect. DJ Kool Herc would often speak during the instrumental portion of the track, and this rhythmic talking turned into what we know as rapping. Now hip-hop has evolved. What once began as an innocent way to make people dance has turned into so much more. Artists have come and gone, the sound of hip-hop keeps changing, but one thing that will always remain is the conflict that arises between the younger and the older generation. Now in 2014, Lloyd Banks did an interview with thisis50.com. Lloyd Banks got to speak about why he hasn't been very active in hip-hop. Lloyd Banks believes that most rappers nowadays don't make music out of inspiration or passion anymore. They do it because hip-hop is a way to make a quick buck. Their music sounds very watered down, and that nowadays, content doesn't matter. A lot of rappers aren't really saying anything on their tracks. So in essence, substance is something that he believes is lacking in hip-hop. Me personally, I'm not one of those people who just woke up and decided to rap. In my 20s, mid-20s, 30s, I've been wanting to do this since a little boy. Since watching The Box on a little ass box TV that I had to smack to get the picture. Writing my raps on anything I could. Since I was supposed to be doing schoolwork and shit. So my love for it, a little different. So when I see how this shit go, from what you used to say to don't even matter, to look at an artist in my position, any way around it, that you have to keep the cycle going. But it'll be an artist you look at that don't have to put an album out, and they don't have any music for 3 or 4 years either. But why? Because they got the luxury to not put the music out in your mind. I ain't never been hurting. You understand what I'm saying? So I've never felt the need to roll with the rush. Like you could put some shit in the mix with a bunch of garbage, and it's just gonna be the best shit out the garbage. Now in my opinion, there is still a lot of good music being made. Artists like J. Cole, Big Crit, Kendrick, YBN Cordae, Denzel Curry, Conway, Joey Badass. I could go on forever. Lots of these artists are responsible for keeping lyrics alive in hip-hop, but we're in the year 2020 now, and lyrics matter less now than ever before. We live in a time when an artist doesn't have to go to the studio to record music anymore. Artists can create a complete song in their bedrooms using a basic software like Fruity Loops, Audacity, Omnisphere, and a mic. After that, all they have to do is upload their music to SoundCloud or YouTube, and if the artist knows how to use social media, they can build a following that way. Now the problem with so many people having access to music making software is that these days anybody can make a song. There are a lot of artists that simply don't have the passion for making music. They simply copy and paste something they've already heard because they know it works. And when an artist isn't in it for the love, their music usually won't have any substance or relatability, and ultimately the art form itself begins to deteriorate. Now on the opposite side of the spectrum, Hip-hop is more melody-based now. Artists like A Boogie with the Hoodie or Post Malone have found a lane for themselves and they seem to be doing well. A lot of the older generation does respect their art and their music. The problem arises when the younger generation shows no respect to the people that paved the way for them. Now in 2016, Timbaland appeared on Hot 97 and he got to speak about his views on the current state of music producers. Timbaland feels as though most music producers nowadays are programmers instead of musicians. He believes that most producers use the same loops over and over again, and that's why he wasn't feeling a lot of the music that was coming out at the time. I don't think we have producers anymore. We have great programmers. We have great programmers that, I think beats are not made by how we used to them. I think they come as a package, as a loop. And it's for you to figure out which program to run it through, to trick it out, and to make something that once was be totally different. Well, that's how I look at it now. I take patterns, layers, and blend the colors. The beat making its change. It's not the same no more. People don't even know how to make their own snares anymore. Now, I personally don't care how the beat is being made. I don't care which software the producer uses to make the beat. But if we look at things from Timbaland's point of view, I can understand his frustrations. Timbaland came up in a time where he had to go to the studio to make music. He learned how to play the keyboard. He understands how to use actual music hardware instead of the virtual instruments that most producers use today. Timbaland learned music theory, and he used all of this knowledge to create some of the most unique beats we've ever heard. Hip-hop fans can usually tell when Timbaland produced a beat that their favorite rapper is on, and that's what separates Timbaland from a lot of producers. His sound cannot be duplicated because it was unique. Whereas in comparison, a lot of producers nowadays aren't afraid to borrow a melody or an 808 pattern from a song that has already worked. Now, sampling is an essential part of hip-hop. However, when a sample is used in the same way by different producers, it almost sounds unoriginal. A lot of songs nowadays sound the same.
She give me what I wanna. Boss so hard, need a warm up. If I see you, I'ma wet you. Hit you and your nephew. Came in with a big drum. Wet you like a stencil.
But are producers to blame for the direction hip-hop is going in, or do we blame the rappers? Now, Snoop Dogg did an interview with G-Unit in 2014. During the interview, he expressed his distaste for the current state of hip-hop, and he claimed that a lot of rappers nowadays sound the same. Apparently, Snoop Dogg was in the studio with someone that wanted him to mimic the famous flow that everybody uses nowadays. However, Snoop refused to do the song because he didn't want to be the type of rapper that follows trends.
I said, nigga had me in the studio one night trying to do that shit. I'm like, man, cut this shit off. What the fuck am I in here doing, nigga? I don't rap like that.
Now, Snoop Dogg does have a point here. A lot of rappers today have been stealing and borrowing flows from each other because it works. At the end of the day, the rap game is a business. The only thing record labels care about is making money. So a lot of these labels will push someone that sounds like what's already working because they know they can make money off of it. Even if an artist isn't signed to a label, they can simply mimic someone that's already established and build a buzz for themselves that way. For example, we all know Designer sounds exactly like Future. His flows, his voice is entirely based off Future's style. However, even despite this blatant attempt to copy Future, Designer was still signed to good music by Kanye West. Designer's single Panda put him on the map. He essentially made millions of dollars off of the song, but we all know that couldn't have happened without Future's influence. Rappers nowadays have a bigger incentive for copying another artist's flow or style because it works, and Designer is the perfect example of this. So what are the OGs trying to tell the younger generation? Now, I'm all for the progression and evolution of hip-hop. If hip-hop sound didn't evolve, the genre wouldn't be as big as it is today. My only issue is with artists that don't respect the culture and labels that sign the same rapper over and over again. Take, for example, Lil Blurry. Now, for those of you that don't know, Lil Blurry's Lil Boosie's artist. He got his big break when he released his single called Dripping in 2018, and he followed it up with 2 songs called Emotions and Now I Made It. Now I listened to about 20 seconds of Emotions, and that was enough for me. In simple terms, Lil Blurry is a trash artist. He makes trash music, his beats usually carry him, and I think the only reason he has a buzz is because the younger generation can relate to him. In that sense, Lil Boosie was smart for signing the young artist. He's going to make a lot of money off of him, but that doesn't change the fact that Lil Blurry's music is trash. But can we really blame him for making trash music? Because isn't he simply following trends and trying to mimic what's already working? Because at the end of the day, that's exactly what a lot of rappers of today do. And I think that's the problem that the older generation has with some of the younger generation. Because some of these new rappers make fast food music. It's easy to digest and easily forgotten within a couple of days, sometimes hours. A lot of them aren't really passionate about what they're doing, and I think the fans can tell when their favorite artist is in it purely for the money. Now I love Nas, and I love J. Cole's music, but nobody wants to listen to Nas and J. Cole all day. Some of the best music doesn't have any content. Some of the best music isn't original, and that's okay. However, I believe that there should be a balance between artists that make music purely for the love, artists that care about originality and pushing boundaries, versus copy and paste artists that are simply doing it for the bag. Because it seems like we are getting more of the latter each year. That's it for me, man. It's your boy Ali. What are the OGs trying to tell the younger generation in your opinion? Let me know down below. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Peace.